NLW 24/7 is coming to an end, but what were the best rivalries in the show's history? Hello everyone, it's NLW Figs here, back again with another video. Today, I'm going to be chronicling the top 5 rivalries in the history of NLW 24/7. After all, in a few hours after this video is uploaded, you will see the final ever NLW 24/7 match, the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble. Who will be the final NLW 24/7 champion? You can find that on the main channel very, very soon. In fact, by the time you're watching this, it's probably even out right now, so check it out. But I wanted to chronicle what were the best rivalries in the history of NLW 24/7, because there have been a lot of them, and some of them may have been forgotten, but I'm here to remind you, and maybe even encourage you to go back through the archives and check out some of these classics. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So at number 5, we've got the rivalry that started it all. It's Goldberg versus The Fiend. So The Fiend had just won the NLW 24/7 championship in a grueling horror battle royal, a Royal Rumble in fact, and his first challengers, Malachi Black and The Undertaker. However, once he got through them, at the end of that matchup, that's when Goldberg came and speared The Fiend off the stage, but he didn't win the championship there, oh no. He actually won it in the Firefly Funhouse, and from there, Goldberg was a dominant champion. He beat the likes of Matt Riddle, and then he eventually had to come into contact with The Fiend's mysterious band of sheep who were attacking Goldberg left, right and centre, trying to get the championship from him, and it ended with a Christmas special. This was about 2 years ago now, when NLW 24/7 was fresh. It was the Extreme Elimination Chamber. So The Fiend had his army with him, trying to fight for him. Goldberg went through all of them, and then eventually Goldberg went through The Fiend. However, what happened at the end of that matchup shocked everyone, because one of the people under the sheep masks was Walter, and that started off one of the greatest reigns in NLW 24/7 history for Walter. But yeah, a brief rivalry, but we've kind of gone back to it over the years in NLW 24/7, so had to include the first big rivalry here on this list. And number 4, you want to speak about Walter? Let's talk about his rivalry with Kyle O'Reilly. Now, a lot of these ideas came from my patrons, such as Remy Montoya, John, Cringe God, and others, and this was a particular arc that was in the mind of Cringe God. So essentially, Kyle O'Reilly would keep trying to get this championship, but he couldn't eventually win it. He was supposed to have a match, but then he was attacked backstage, and it turned out it was Walter. And I never really anticipated that this would go any further than just a bit appearance. However, I like the idea so much that I just ran with it. Eventually, Kyle O'Reilly and Walter had a one-on-one match. They had multiple matches. After that, at least, Kyle O'Reilly kept showing up to try and beat Walter, but alas, he couldn't do it. And Walter at the time was fighting through a bunch of people. In fact, I think it was actually Kyle O'Reilly and Roman Reigns that was another part of this sort of whole feud. Just basically the rivalry where Kyle O'Reilly was trying to get the championship. He eventually came into contact with Walter, and that's where we had the Cage of Death, right? So the Cage of Death was this massive contraption that I made, housing 7 superstars fighting it out for the championship. A big steel cage full of weapons, all mayhem, all chaos. So it was ending when Walter looked like he was going to retain the championship. However, Kyle O'Reilly came in and at the last minute exploded Walter in a pyrotechnic explosion and won the championship. He did eventually drop it to Adam Cole, but it's an underrated rivalry. Go and watch the Cage of Death video on my channel, and also watch the Gauntlet Royal Rumble to see how Kyle O'Reilly did as the champion. But yeah, a fun rivalry. Next up, a more modern rivalry. It's the Elite versus DX. So the Elite and DX, naturally, they're very similar in a lot of ways, but in other ways, they are not so similar. They could even be enemies, as I was explaining here in this story for NLW 24/7. So, Kenny Omega, he wanted the championship. AJ Styles was the champion. He was trying to defend this championship. However, Kenny Omega, at the end of the night, it turned out that Shawn Michaels and Triple H teamed up to try and take the championship from him, and this stemmed from an incident the previous month where Triple H battered Cody Rhodes, and there was a whole lot of heat there. Don't need to explain why. And he eventually took out Cody Rhodes, and that led to Kenny Omega teaming up with Kota Ibushi. The Young Bucks were involved in this match too. You also had DX, and what happened was Kota Ibushi got knocked out by Triple H's sledgehammer, injured, and this kind of took all of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega together. Originally, it was going to end with a War Games match. Unfortunately, it didn't come to be. We were going to have the Clique, that's DX, of Triple H and Shawn Michaels teaming up with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall to take on the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes. But alas, unfortunately, I didn't have time to get round to it. But I did have a big blow-off match at All Out, where Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, Eddie Guerrero Triple H, Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash fought in an Anarchy in the Arena match. Definitely one you should check out from that show. And speaking of that show, let's move on to our next rivalry. It's CM Punk versus Kazuchika Okada, one of the greatest rivalries in NLW 24/7. So as of recording right now, Kazuchika Okada is still the NLW 24/7 champion. However, he has to defend it in the Greatest Royal Rumble, which is uploaded later today. In fact, if you're watching this, it's probably up right now, so go check it out. But CM Punk, he's been trying to go after Okada for months. Ever since Fight Club back in February, CM Punk has been trying to win the 24/7 championship. Every time he tries to go after Okada, there's another obstacle. He has to come over Suzuki-gun, which have aligned themselves with Okada. That's Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki doing the bidding of Kazuchika Okada, which I believe has made Okada's reign the longest in 24/7 history. Quite an achievement. So CM Punk, he keeps trying to go after Okada. Eventually, he wins a tag team match, which ensures he will get a shot at the 24/7 championship, and it happens in perhaps the greatest 24/7 title match in history. It's Punk, Okada in Chicago, all out for the championship, and it's an Iron Man match. 30 minutes, the man with the most falls wins the championship. Definitely was taxing to make an Iron Man match, to say the least, but it was a challenge I look forward to, and it's pretty underrated, you know. I took a lot of time with it, so if you do want to check that out, it's All Out from NLW 24/7, the main event. 30-minute Iron Man match. Eventually, though, Okada at the last minute hitting the Rainmaker and getting the win. And since then, CM Punk's turned heel in NLW 24/7, but can he win the championship in the Greatest Royal Rumble? Well, you're just going to have to find out, aren't you, by watching it. But the greatest rivalry in NLW 24/7 history, in my view, is The Undertaker versus Aleister Black. Aleister Black was trying to get the championship. He won a World War III three-ring battle royal. That's impressive in its own right, but Undertaker was the champion. And now you see the dichotomy here. Two similar athletes colliding for the championship. Originally, it was supposed to be a one-on-one match. However, The Undertaker took out Aleister Black before he even had a chance to get his title shot. Aleister Black re-emerged from the shadows at the Hardy compound and challenged The Undertaker to a Hell in a Cell match, one of the most brutal matches in NLW 24/7 history. Malachi, or Aleister, whatever you want to call him, fell off the top of the cage. He was chokeslammed through the roof of the cage. However, he managed to get back up and finally win the championship from The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. That's another big match you can check out on the channel right now, and it was spectacular. And Malachi Black, Aleister Black, whatever you want to call him, had a very strong championship reign after that, which involved him having a fight pit match as well inside of a steel cage. I would have liked to have done a lot more with Aleister Black as champion, I must say. But yeah, that is my top 5 rivalries in NLW 24/7 history. But do you disagree with me, or do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. Is there anything I've missed? Comment down below. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed this, and subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content as always. And remember, the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble is up today. In fact, by the time you're watching it, it could be up right now on the main channel. So go and check out the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble, the final ever NLW 24/7 match, and I will catch you guys later.